I was hurt by everything. I was hurt by what happened in high school, but I focused on like basketball and I, started hitting the weights and running. So I want to tell you about just kind of how I transitioned out of that, but I'm going to take off the high school stuff and transition
I was
back
just getting
to
used to it.
Me. Yeah.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's okay.
All right.
Word.
This chair.
So now I was telling you that I decided to
I'm
focus.
over this, okay?
I decided to focus my time and energy into more productive things.
That's right.
I decided to, hit the weights, focus on sports and basketball. And eventually I hit my growth spurt. I already told you I removed the mole.
Yes, with the kit.
And I started to see, some results I started to channel all that anger and frustration that I wasn't getting from Michelle. And I decided to,
dedicate it to something
the sports,
productive.
Yeah, I had a 6-pack.
This is ridiculous.
My physical physique started to change.
Here we go.
I took that as an opportunity to reinvent myself.
Okay.
High school was over. I'm playing collegiate basketball. I'm pretty good. I could dunk. I can impress a girl now. I remember the first time I went to the cafeteria and you're wearing the hoodie with your number on it and the basketball team. I remember seeing a table or seeing a young lady at a table kind of like kind of giggling.
When you walk by?
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Like she was interested in me.
Oh, like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't laughing. They were no longer laughing at me. She was laughing with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were giggling too?
Right.
No. Now I'm like cool.
That's cute.
You like
Now I'm like shooting.
Okay. If looks could kill.
Yeah. So because I was hurt and I started getting this attention, I didn't really know how to use it constructively.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Now
you're taking souls now. You're playing catch up.
Yeah. And I'm like, the fact that I'm getting attention from girls now, I'm like, because one girl didn't like me, I'm going to get every girl to like me.
Wait, what is this a story about?
What do you mean?
Why are you laughing? This is a story about what made you who you are today, right?
Right.
Okay. No. For a second, I thought you were telling me the story about that. Remember that time you got the STD? I thought we were going there. But I'm with you now. I didn't know if we changed topics.
Oh, man. I told him that in confidence.
That wasn't a joke?
No, I was like, hey, Kemp, come here. Come look at this. Come look at this. And he was like, okay,
what you think this is right here? It hurt, but I don't.
He was like, hold on. Let me get my glasses out.
It hurt, but I don't know.
I got close. I was like, you need to get that checked.
I was like, I need to get every girl to like me. I think that's all I wanted. I wasn't actually trying to, I didn't think about anything further than that.
Okay.
I just needed like their number, or I needed, some kind of acknowledgement that,
somebody was into you.
That somebody was into me.
Because the one that you wanted.
Right. But that's reasonable or to be expected,
I would say.
Response to what happened to me, wouldn't you say?
To be expected, yes.
Yes, no. Yes, no.
Really?
I feel like we don't take enough responsibility in addressing trauma. We just like to carry it around. So I feel like you had the responsibility to address that. And it should be expected that you address that. Just the fact that we don't doesn't make it like right or like yeah. I mean that's what's suspected. Like I just
Right.
feel like that's a lazy response to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also at like such a young age. If you don't have someone to kind of lead you into that, it's kind of hard to be like, where should you have gotten it? Because I don't expect you to be smart enough to like correct on your own.
So I didn't have any kind of positive role models showing me, you know, how to be in a relationship, how to treat women, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
The only influence I had was 90s, 2000 hip hop.
But you also had women in the house. And I feel like you knew the proper way to treat them. So it's
Right.
at what point were you using the fact you didn't have a father as an excuse to act out more so than you didn't learn the proper way to act?
Right. Well, I mean, it's interesting you asked that because I actually met a girl and she liked me like a lot. Like in the midst of me trying to get every girl to like me, I actually met a nice girl.
Okay.
You know, things progressed pretty fast and pretty soon we were in a relationship. But that was my first relationship. I couldn't get a relationship in high school. So, you know, going back to your question, what example do I have of how to be in a relationship? I've never seen, like, once my dad left, my mom just started working.
Right.
Like she was never actively in other relationships. Like I didn't have a stepdad.
Right.
I didn't see her dating. She was like too busy working and, you know, coming to our basketball games and taking us, you know, to different things like that. So what examples did I have besides rappers telling me how to treat women or how to look at, you know what I mean? Or like TV shows.
Yeah.
What was you watching?
BET.
Flavor of Love?
Yeah, I was watching Flavor Flav. Or listening to like Too Short. Bitch! You know?
Wait, do that again? Because that was actually pretty good.
I was like, Too Short, like, you know, what do you call these respectable young women?
What do you call them?
Bitch! You know, that was my favorite word. But I'm leaving that either.
That stays. If we ever kept anything, that stays.
So, you know, I'm in this relationship with this girl. And I was into her, but at the same time, there's still, like I think the way you put it was like unaddressed trauma. Because that was pretty traumatizing.
I'd say.
You know, as
for a 13-year-old.
For a 13-year-old. So even though I'm in a relationship with this girl, eventually I start still seeking out that validation. Even though I had gotten it from her. You know, Too Short was like, not one bitch, not two bitch. You know, he was like, get them all. Collect them all.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, now that I'm an adult and I'm looking back on this and, you know, knowing that Miss Kathleen listens to this podcast, you know, these aren't things that I'm proud of.
That's right. You've grown out of that.
The whole point of this story was to address why I was going for some news goodie and why I gave away the trophy. So I'm dating this girl, you know, I'm still seeking that validation. So I'm like flirting with her friends in front of her face and
whoa,
you know, just, you know, it was that bad. And she was.
You're purposely doing this.
I wasn't purposely doing it. Like I would deny it. What are you talking about? That's just my personality.
Okay.
That's how I'm awkward socially. I have anxiety. So for me to get comfortable, I have to kind of overcompensate. That you it sounds like you kind of can relate to that a little bit.
Nah, but I see what you're saying.
Despite my bad behavior, she was nice enough to take me to her hometown.
Okay.
And, you know, to meet her family and meet her friends. And while she was home, you know, she had a seasonal job. So she was like, you know, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to let you hang out with my friends. And, you know, then when I get off of work, we'll all meet up. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put this story in. It makes me look too bad.
Oh, I definitely want to hear it, though. We're here now, buddy. We got to hear it.
So we start off at the first, at the first bar, and there's a sign on the door that says, they called them, you ever had like a rum bucket? But at this place, like they were known like
For their rum.
for their, yeah.
Okay.
So it was like limit of 2 per
Bucket.
customer.
Oh, so they're saying you by yourself can only have 2 the whole time.
Any patrons can only have 2
Gotcha.
buckets.
Because it'll
Mess you up.
wreck you.
It'll wreck you. But I'm meeting her friends. We're having a good time. I think the waitress lost count of how many buckets she brought me, because I think she brought me about 3-4 of them.
Okay.
So it's the alcohol's fault.
And does this bucket have a handle and you drinking it by the handle, or is it like a straw?
Yeah, it was a straw.
That actually holds up in court.
Really? Does it?
If you say I had 4 rum buckets.
You can be like, Your Honor, I had 4 of them buckets. You seen the buckets, right?
The thing is, I don't remember the rest of the story. I've only been told how the story ends.
What did they
I've
say?
only been accused of how the story ends, but I don't even remember.
Okay, what was the accusation?
All I remember is having the last of the 4 rum buckets.
And then nothing.
And then I vaguely remember, like, because it was a crawl.
Yeah, that definitely holds up in court.
Yeah, that's it. You don't remember?
Yeah.
You'll get out of anything.
But I do remember grabbing her friend's hand in front of her and, like, strolling. But it was friendly. It was like, oh, your friends are cool.
No, they ain't friendly.
Let's stroll to the next.
Could she do that to one of your homies? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? I just remember waking up the next day.
That's it. That's what they said. That's all they said it happened, or you purposely not telling us it's something else? Because I feel like it's something extra.
Wait, that was the end of your story.
Yeah.
What else happened?
That's all I remember.
Okay. So yeah, what does the group remember?
Apparently, high school kind of carried into college years. Apparently, there was a forbidden kiss. Another forbidden kiss.
In front of the group.
No, not in front of the group.
So how did this come out?
What do you mean, how did it come out?
So you kissed one of her friends.
I don't remember.
They say
anything.
that you kissed one of her friends, and her friend kissed you back, but she told. Like, how did the group find out if it wasn't?
It's all accusations. I don't think.
You definitely did
I don't think that.
There's no doubt in my mind.
But that's what I want to know.
You want to know what?
You don't get to want to know.
I want to know where these accusations even came from.
But it was also one of those things where you was like, even though I don't remember, I probably did do that. Like you knew, right?
No. It was kind of like your story. Your Halloween story. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, that's one of the funniest stories. But you know how you woke up the next day and you were like, it probably didn't happen.
And then you had a bunch of hickeys on your
neck.
I
had like, I had like lipstick.
And then you looked at your phone. You were like, sorry, I couldn't make it out. Like your girl said that. You were like, okay, if my girl didn't.
Yeah. She's like, sorry, work got too busy, but have fun with my friends. And I was like, she never showed up last night? But,
wow.
To this day.
Did she break up with you?
I wouldn't have done something like that.
She stayed with you?
No. So eventually she tried to be patient with me and tried to give me chances and was like, you can't keep.
So you kissed her friend and she was like, you can't keep doing this. You need to call this girl right now.
Right.
And lock it in.
I didn't deserve her. That's what that was.
I know what that's like.
I would say, yeah, we didn't think you did. You don't have to clarify that.
Yeah. But why am I'm hurt. I was the hurt one.
Hurt people.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay. That was ridiculous.
So I was hurt. So I was hurting other people.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up breaking up with me. And I didn't realize. It was one of those things where it's like you don't realize what you have until you lose it. Because we dated for, the way I'm telling this story, it seems like this was just kind of like a quick thing.
Casual, yeah.
Yeah, but we dated for like 5 years.
What the heck? So this was
she
out of school?
She put up with you for 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That type of bad behavior.
So if you aside from Michelle, if you had to say like, if you probably met the person you was going to end up with, you would say it was her?
I don't think so though.
Okay. Then effort.
Cause
Who cares?
Cause I already had dibs on Michelle. Don't you think if that was supposed to be the person I was supposed to end up with, don't you think I would have ended up with her? Don't you think it would have been enough for me to?
No,
that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Really?
You could have been sent many angels. If you weren't ready to accept it, then that don't mean it. God, like, you know how many I sent you, boy?
Right.
You was tripping.
Yeah, you can definitely.
You was kissing a friend.
You can definitely miss.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
If I was your lawyer, I could get you out of that.
You can definitely miss opportunities in life. I know there's this mindset of everything happens for a reason. You don't have to go through the stuff you're going through. You're putting yourself through unnecessary stuff that doesn't need to happen. Some opportunities are for you and you just ain't ready or right, so you miss it and you have to wait for it to come back around. So she could have been.
Yeah.
See?
So just in terms of how these experiences are shaping my life, you know, I'm going through this trauma of this girl in high school and that whole experience. And then something good actually comes out of it. I'm in a relationship with someone who's trying to get me to stop acting out and stop hurting her. I'm just too hard-headed to, you know.
Do you think you've worked through that today? Like, did you go to how many years were you in therapy?
Well, I want to tell you about that, but I gotta pee again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let me pee real quick, and then can I really take this off this time? All right, let me pee. Let me take this off.
Oh, he knocking.
I should have known, but you know, let's just go with this. Who is this? I can't wait to hear this.
The last question you asked me was how I came out of the darkness into the light.
Yes.
And I'll share with you how I found my peace, Jay. Because I did find it. And you too. I know you think this is funny. I used to think it was funny.
Yes.
I used to laugh to hide my pain.
So I'm hurting. I am hurting.
You're
really bad
hurting.
Right now. Yeah, I'm hurting.
But this isn't about you. This is about me. I'll share my experience with... I've shared my experience. Me. Yeah.
Okay.
In hopes that you guys can be healed too. So where did I leave off?
We asked, where did the growth take place as far as have you gotten out of this pattern?
Yeah. I was really broken and I really hurt other people with my behavior.
Is that a pillowcase?
And I was led to a group of people who were able to teach me that I was hurt. And that I was hurting people, Jay.
Yeah, but what's this voice? who is this talking? Is this still? Are you still Drew?
Yeah, I'm Drew. This is not a character, Jay.
Okay.
This is my life. This is what I went through. So I met these people, and you know what?
Can you tell me who these people are?
Yeah, they were just friends.
So this is the second quote you've joined.
It wasn't a cult, Kemp. These people, you know,
why are you calling our names?
You know, they addressed me by my name. You know, they said, Drew, we love you.
Once you have this enlightenment,
right?
Usually,
but I actually want to be serious about this part.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Usually, to really start new and clean, they get rid of their, earth names.
When I met these people, they put me on this journey of self-love.
Oh, this is when you got the STD.
Have you ever heard of the concept of self-love? If I asked you right now, Jay, do you love yourself? You do?
Yes.
Really? Kemp, do you love yourself?
Very much so.
I'm actually gonna switch back into myself because I do, like I said.
I thought this was yourself.
Yeah, you said that this was you.
No.
Jay.
I started saying.
This is me, Kemp.
I started to say that.
There's Drew.
I started to say
He's
that.
back, ladies and gentlemen.
I started to say that each of these characters,
He went right back.
as you call them, were just parts of my journey. So this too was just a part of my journey.
Okay.
The person that you pod with today, I wouldn't say he's this guy, but this was just a part of my life where I was just introduced to new concepts. You've ever heard of mindfulness? Have you ever heard of the term mindfulness? Kemp?
It's a pretty common term.
Is it? I had
I
never
would
heard
think
of.
so.
I had never heard of it.
We could tell from your story.
Tell you what.
Can you explain to our people watching this at home?
People are watching this, and as connected as you are, you should be able to feel them watching. Are you?
I feel the judgment, but that's the thing. Once I started learning because I hated myself. I realized I hated myself. I didn't like who I was. So I needed to figure out who I wanted to be as a person. That guy that I told you about here, I'm not proud of that guy.
I just need you to explain to me this journey and what went down.
That's it. This is no joke. This is no gimmick.
So you woke up and you had a head wrap on in a barber shop?
No, this is just symbolic of a period in my life. I was wearing regular or clothes, but as part of
he just dissed me
as part of being on a spiritual journey.
But when you do the two fingers, that I feel judged.
If you call that clothing,
can you not do the fingers?
If you call this a fit. If you actually put thought and energy into these fits, you could be. That's what I realized, because I too was dressing that way, but I was like, clothes are they're just material things. That's not what's important. What's important is connections with people. That's why I linked up with you guys, and I'm like, we need the podcast. I need to make friendship. I need to share vulnerable moments with these guys.
That's right.
Who did you meet? Where did you meet them? And was cocaine involved?
There was no drugs involved, man. It's all in your mind. I'm telling you too can be on this journey. That's why, I'm hesitant to continue playing this character, as you guys say, and just be myself, because...
Is this not you? Who is this?
It's me, but it's not me. It's you. We're all one. You, me, Kemp. We're all just here on this earth for such a short time.
What is this?
Too. Yeah, who
what? Sent you on this road to self-love? I don't understand how this happened, how you got here.
Okay, so
with a comforter set on, it just starts.
So obviously this is an exaggeration. This is for entertainment value.
Okay.
What do you want to know? Who did I meet?
You haven't answered any of my questions.
Okay, they were just friends that I met. You have friends, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're your friends.
You met some friends who made you...
They didn't make me do anything.
Who encouraged you?
They didn't encourage me to do anything. They didn't. I promise you.
Podcast is over. I'm done.
No, I'm being serious. They didn't. All right, now I'm gonna talk serious. Because they didn't do anything. I just met them, and they were in phases of their lives where they were, like you said mindfulness was...
I feel like I've always been very mindful of my surroundings and just people, and I don't know, that's just always been something I've carried throughout life.
When I came to the point in my life where I was reflecting on it, it seemed like high school and college were just like a blur, and I wasn't in control of the person that I was. If that makes sense.
I know what you're saying.
Until it clicked in my mind, and I could control what my destiny or what decisions or that's how I. But before that, it was just like you didn't know what was going on. Everything was happening too fast for you to be able to process it.
Yeah, like, or until you get there to really be like, okay, now that was this. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Right.
It takes a while. You got to mature. You got to get older and stuff, and then you can look at it and be like,
right.
I've been wilding for a long time, or such and such.
So it wasn't so much, like I said, this is more of like entertainment value, but it was just I had met like a nice group of people. Like I talk about how my influences were like Too Short and like rappers, or just like I didn't have influences, but they were just
what Too Short say?
You know, bitch. But these friends were like, you know, it's not nice to call ladies bitch.
So what made these people different, or this moment in your life different that you were?
That's what I'm saying. It probably was less. I think because when I lost that 5-year girlfriend, like I was kind of like low and just kind of like confused.
So this was kind of directly after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like a lost soul kind of. So I could have been steered in many different directions. Like I could have met people who were just like, you're good. Like, let's keep acting up. But instead I met people who were just like, you know, you're in control of your actions. Like, do good in the world. Like, be a good person. Like you said, you were trying to say that they were encouraging me or they were forcing me. They were just friends. Like we would just hang out, and they, you know, I would see how they interacted with people, and I was just like, man, these are like, and I had friends up until that point. Like I had my homies and my teammates and all that kind of stuff, but it was always it was like I never felt like accepted.
Looking back on it, do you think you weren't accepted in those instances, or you were so caught up in your looks and in you not thinking you were cool that you were making it that you weren't accepted even though you were?
Yeah, and I think that has something to do. And like you said, when I was talking about college, like I was overcompensating. I was like going over the top, and I would use humor. It was kind of a bad thing. I would break into bits, and normally you would expect someone else to just kind of
play off of it
or get that it's a bit. It got to a point where they were just like, oh, this guy is full of crap, or they would introduce me and they just be like, don't listen to anything he says. They were my friends. They still liked me, but they were just like,
don't take him serious.
Yeah. They were like, why do you do that? Just be chill. Like, oh, just chill. Like, you don't have to, you know, be bidding all the time. So then I kind of like started, you know, that all
dialing it back.
I started dialing
suppressing
it back. But I probably was like kind of over the top.
Yeah, you was wilding.
Yeah.
There is always a line, because it's a playful line, and as long as it stays there, you may have more leeway. You still gonna have people that's like, there you go, joking again, but it's like, it's harmless.
Right.
I had a good friend in college. They were someone who did bits 24/7. And they would just go into bits. They weren't harmful. They weren't mean. They were just kind of living in this funny imaginary world, always going off of things. I would respond to them, but it got to a point that I felt like none of our interactions at all were real. Like everything was a bit, and I felt like nothing was genuine, and I didn't even really like know this person. Like they used it so much that they were like, I don't know if they were masking something else or if they just weren't. I don't know.
And that's how.
But it wasn't genuine. Yeah. So I literally, that friendship kind of ended and dwindled because I felt like I couldn't connect with them on a real level. So maybe it was something similar to that.
Meeting these people, it was like they showed me that like you should try to connect with people, and they taught me like empathy. Like you should be empathetic, and like life is about like the people you meet, and like
not necessarily just self-serving, like how you feel.
Right. And it's like a lot of those bits were self-serving. Like I would meet people and I would just jump in a bit, and in a way I was gauging the level of like, are they on my level in terms of wit, and you know, because they don't jump into a bit, you know, they take life too seriously, and I'm better than them for that. You know,
Everybody ain't gonna always like the bits, but as long as it's not malicious, when people still like want to be overly serious about it,
it's too much.
But I kind of like to dance on that line. I'm just like, I'm gonna do another one when I see you again.
I still flirt with the line.
Hey,
you still
you
flirt
the one
with everybody.
That's how we here today.
So it was less about like the people, but it was like meeting those people and like being so low in my life, analyzing like who I am totally, being brought up in this religion and how I felt about that, and like how how I was treating people. I didn't like who I was altogether. Like they taught me about like they were interested in like live music and things like that, and I used to think that like that was nerdy. Being in
live music?
No, not live music. Yeah, just like bands and
I know what you're talking about.
And like guitars. I used to just want to hear a beat and hear some in here Too Short rapping, bitch. For real, I was like, if it ain't rap, I don't want to hear it. But hanging out with them, they were like, check this out, let's go see. And I'm seeing like really talented playing like
weird,
express themselves creatively.
Little indie bands and stuff.
Right. Yeah, so
like a random name like the parking tickets or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I was introduced to that, and I was introduced to like yoga and meditation and just it was like taking in all this new stuff and like choosing who I wanted to be rather than just kind of like floating aimlessly. Have you guys ever meditated before?
Yeah, I meditate. I'm sure it's different from you because it usually happens on the toilet. Or when you're in the shower, you just take a brief moment. Like if it's the shower, you getting ready for your day and stuff like that, you just getting your mind right and stuff. You just sit with yourself. You don't really say too much.
Did you guys all have a van that you piled up into? These are serious questions.
And you was driving with your feet.
I question.
I mean, you came in here looking like Madame Zeroni, so I'm just. I got a lot of crazy things going through my head.
Shouts out Madame Zeroni.
I question how far I wanted to like take this bit because I didn't want to distract from
the message.
Yeah, we lost the message a while ago.
So I want to bring this all to a close.
As yourself, do you have clothes on under that? If not, then never mind.
No, I want to bring this all to a close, but there's all this water and
it's running through you.
It's running through me. So
the temple.
If you allow me to just go relieve myself real quick, I can change back.
Oh, Drew's back.
It was all me.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to
illustrate.
I wanted to dress the role as I kind of highlighted those moments in my life.
I would just like to say genius storytelling.
There's a lot of effort.
Because you gave us visuals.
Visuals, yeah.
I'm this guy.
Right.
I turned into this guy.
The muscles
physically
were real.
Fit. BS. Physically may look the part.
A lot of time.
But mentally was still damaged.
A lot of money.
And then the transformation. That was
worth it.
But now that you're your regular self again, are you saying that you found the perfect balance of all those things?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I would say that, like, I don't even know how to talk anymore. Is this how I talk?
You'll get there.
I feel like
there you go.
It was a little bit over the top because I had taken on this new mindset, or I was learning all these like new ways to like perceive life. Some of it was kind of like too far.
Okay.
To an extent, there's caring about people and doing good in the world.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta joke. You gotta live life. You gotta.
There he goes.
There's some human. You're still a human.
That's right.
And I think some of these people, they were great friends of mine, great people. But I think they were. And it happens with religion or a lot of different things in life where you can kind of, just kind of lose focus. And am I explaining this right?
So in other words, you were only a good person for a short stint.
You are reading this right. Because I'm back.
That's the guy, no? Because he's back.
Because I'm back. Oh, but in all seriousness, for real, what's the moral? Because we always have a moral.
I would say
I was the victim, right?
In some ways, you were a victim.
You did call dibs.
You did call dibs because that was on you. Mm-hmm. I think in all realness, I am proud of you because when people go through different traumas and stuff, you can pick to stay on the negative.
Right.
And even though you're not much better than you were,
right,
you're trying.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like I wouldn't be able to talk about this if I did still care about that stuff. Like I don't care about.
Right.
They're happy. They got their lives now. Like I was 13 years. I was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to be married, but that's a whole nother.
That's.
If I recall correctly, the first we heard of this story was when Cheryl visited,
right,
on episode 6, and kind of gave us some insight.
Right.
Shouts out Cheryl.
If I remember correctly,
yeah,
she mentioned that Michelle and Tim got married.
Yeah.
And
you were at the wedding.
Yeah,
you were at the wedding, so we were very intrigued to hear the rest of the story.
Right.
So what I'm hearing is you were an absolutely horrible friend to Tim when you were a child. You ruined a great friendship. You tried to ruin his relationship. You kind of backstabbed him and swung up on his girl. And even after all this time, you're still secretly corresponding with his woman to ask permission if you can tell this story. You're still caught up on her. And you're still backstabbing poor Tim, this wonderful, great man in the back.
Poor Tim.
I just feel like we don't curse on this podcast, but it's about time Tim comes and f***s you up. Because you've been screwing Tim over for years. I'm disappointed in Michelle for allowing a friendship to go on this long. I'm disappointed for Tim for not putting you in your place already.
Yeah.
And
what happened to the think about you when you were 13 and all the wrongs you've been doing, Kemp?
We shot you too much bail, man. You used it up.
That was when we were 13.
Right. But this behavior is still
you still in Tim's girls' DMs.
After the road, man.
No.
We thought this was the new guy, no?
Right. No, I think I'm not. I don't talk to her like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Like even though.
But if you do, so what? Come see him, Tim. At this point, right. It's bound to happen.
I knew
you're gonna see him in Kroger one day.
I knew we started this podcast.
Ram the back of your ankles with his cart.
What's that N stand for?
Nothing.
What's that E stand for? What's that T?
Fact.
What's that S?
Serious.
Come on now. Come on now. I had to take the rope off.
If you're destroying a marriage, so what, man?
So freaking what? If I actually did kiss the friend,
so freaking what? So what?
Thought I joined this podcast to put positivity out in the world.
If you've ruined a couple lives,
learn something new every day, right?
You know what? That apology that we offered in the beginning of this podcast, let's put that stuff back in there.
F it.
So freaking what?
We don't care about your feelings. We don't care about your lives. Quite frankly, it's good content for the show. F off.
Ooh.
No, all jokes aside, though. F y'all.
I just feel like we're throwing our responsibility to the wind right now, but
that's right.
You know what? I guess screw it. You don't have to be responsible for yourself. I guess that's the thing now. So
F it. Who cares?
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nothing's Ever That Serious.
Because it's not.
It's
I promise you it's not.
that serious.
Hey, ruin your lives. It's okay. Look
Love
at us.
you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. We rock with you. We'll see you next week.
Jay with the jokes, funny guy. Drew with the blah blah, telling crazy stories for a lifetime. Kemp got the wisdom for him, like nothing's ever that serious. And if you don't listen, then you're delirious.
Bro, you can't say that. Why not?
Because we're live. I just said nothing's ever that serious.